Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Get Some. I am your sommelier, Danielle Lindau of 5 to Wine Time, and today we are going to talk about sustainability. There is a winery out in Cornville, Arizona called Page Springs Cellars, where the winemaker's wife, Gayle, actually sat down with me to talk about the sustainability movement on their actual winery itself. She has her own project outside of the wine called Second Harvest, where she's actually taking what's called pumice, the leftover grape stems, seeds, leaves, twigs, and she's actually turning it into something beautiful. She calls it Second Harvest because it's the second usage of the grapes that are actually made to make the wine of Page Springs Cellars. This is her body butter. She also makes baking spices, chapstick. While I was out in Arizona helping on the vineyards, she actually took some time out of her day to sit with me, and we got to discuss her project and how it is just beautiful to see that next step after a great glass of wine is made, what wineries are doing to make this planet a better place. So take a look. I hope you guys enjoy, learn something new. I'll see you on the other side. Hi guys, welcome back to another Vlogging About Bottles. I am your sommelier, Danielle, and I am here with Gayle with Page Springs Cellars, and we are actually going to talk about her Second Harvest project. She actually uses pumice, which is the leftover skins, seeds, as well as stems that they make all their wine from here. And she does some really amazing products, so I'm really excited. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day.
Thank you.
Of course. So how does a massage therapist and yoga instructor find herself in the middle of Arizona at a winery?
That's a good question. So yeah, I found myself here just by chance, and then I met my husband, Eric, who at that time was moving from California to Arizona to build and create a winery. So I actually had never seen a vineyard before and didn't really drink wine because I thought it was terrible. And actually one of our first dates, he brought over a bottle of wine that he had made in California. And I didn't get to drink it with him at that moment, but later on, I opened it and I was so impressed. I was really blown away by the quality of the wine, just how it felt. So then I just got to know him, and we became this blended family. And during that, then he started working on the winery. So as we are sitting right here in our new members area, so kind of a bizarre thing to make wine in Arizona. So to answer your question, I've been practicing yoga forever, or teaching yoga forever, and when I came here and met him, I thought, oh, that's a cool idea, like having yoga in a vineyard. It sounds very earthy and a great thing. So I actually did start teaching classes down here. And then I started to get into massage. And the massage that I do is actually a Thai massage. So we have a whole massage department here at Page Springs Cellars. And we have 6 practitioners that are really great. And we have a great space. It's right in the vineyard. And we have a little panel on the wall that opens up and it amplifies the sound of Page Springs water. So as soon as you walk in the room, it's very tranquil and peaceful. And so I was getting so much slack for being yoga and massage and holistic, but drinking wine. And people couldn't understand the connection of why would you practice yoga at a winery? Why would you want to put these two worlds together? Why would you want to have massage in a vineyard? And so I really had to kind of work on integrating like how I was approaching this. And when I met Eric, I had dealt with alcoholism in a previous relationship, and so when I met Eric, he approached wine as being community and being family and being from the earth, and that was an art, and just was really exciting to me, which all of those characteristics are completely what yoga is about. Relaxing, having a glass of wine, it's part of it. So again, the massage, it just to me really connected and made sense, but it was also a really cool thing that here's what I like to do as far as yoga and massage, here's what he likes to do, growing wine, making wine. and these two things can come together. So I don't know that many relationships can collaborate on that way.
Especially two different types of artwork, and it fills the soul and it takes care of the soul. And like a glass of wine is artwork, and yoga is artwork, and even massage and Thai massaging especially, it's just a beautiful form of art. And so it's kind of cool to see two worlds come together in one. So
yeah, so the cool thing was working in the cellar, which I work in the vineyard in the cellar, and thank you yesterday for helping us work in the vineyard.
That was so much fun.
But working in the cellar, here I am watching all of this pomace. Like you mentioned, pomace is the skins and the seeds. After we press the grapes, we've got this material that's left over that most wineries end up throwing into landfills and can't even compost it. It's such a great amount. And I kept thinking of massage and packages, and how do we relate the massage and yoga to the winery? And so I just kept, for years, kept thinking that I really wanted to use that pomace. It was such a waste. Here it is, high in antioxidants, high in vitamins, high in fiber. If you eat it, it's just such a great alive product that we were neglecting and throwing away.
Crazy, because pomace, it takes, to give you an idea, it takes 2.6 pounds of grapes to make 750 milliliter of wine. And so in the wine industry, it takes almost 12 million pounds of grape waste, which I've only seen used as wineries who are doing sustainable practices, putting it back into the farms and using it as fertilizer. But you've actually taken it to another level so that it can take care of you on the inside, which I think is really, and on the outside, because there's so many products that you've started. So
yeah, so the body butter actually was the first product that I created because of looking at this pomace and trying to relate it to massage. I was trying to think of some kind of skincare product that we could use. So I was thinking about how do you use a grape after it's already, pressed. You're not taking the juice out. I didn't want to take a bottle of wine and splash it on people. And the interesting thing is, like, our kids, we have 4 kids, and we would often be in vats doing work. So maybe there were like little green berries that we were picking out, or for some reason we were in these batches. And grapes are very astringent, like
very, oh
super itchy. I mean, sometimes you'd come out of these batches and just go, oh, this is terrible to have on my skin. So the body butter was the first product that I came up with Second Harvest, and it works really well as a daily moisturizer, just for dry skin. It's also great in our massages, so we actually, if you get a massage here, you can upgrade, and the practitioner would use the body butter rather than the oil, which is a great thing, not only because you're just getting all of this great vitamins and hydration, but it's also connecting back into what you were kind of leading into. We call it upcycle.
Yeah.
So I'd never heard of that word before. Somebody's like, oh, that's an upcycle product. I'm like, okay, what is upcycle mean?
What a term. And I was like, that's sustainability, but upcycling, it is taking something that was seen as waste or somebody's garbage and turning it into something beautiful, which again is what you're doing here. And that's all about the sustainability movement in the wine region, is trying to leave the world a better place and giving us great bottles of wine in the process. So the body butter is great. I've used it on my elbows. I've used it on my sunburn. It really helps bringing that good healthiness into the skin itself. And then you have dry products as well. What are these 2 items right here?
And I'll back up too, because with the butter, I'm just one of those people that naturally have dry skin, especially in Arizona. So I loved the butter, but I also get chapped lips. So I was like taking my finger and just using the butter, because it's all organic. It's shea butter, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, the grape skins and seeds. And there's only these couple ingredients. I always think of Haagen-Dazs, just these pure couple ingredients that you can pronounce everything. So what happened is I started using it on my lips, and I fell in love with it because I have so many issues with things on my lips that I'll put on and then it'll taste funny. I'll drink a glass of water later in the day and I'm like, oh, it's bitter, what's going on? I can't pronounce half the ingredients in this stuff, and it's going internally.
It's just important
So I started making the roll-ups, the lip butter. So it's a different recipe than this, but it's like this silky, I'm so addicted to it. It's like this
maybe buying 2 or 3.
silky, satiny, and then if you lick your lips, later in the day, it's like, oh, this tastes good too. And I know everything's good for you. The wine powder came later. It was a pretty amazing process because I was making this. So these products we have in Arizona, like a cottage good. So I can make these out of my house. So there's a little license of making this product from my home kitchen. So as I was making these butters, my base is the skins and the seeds. My house smelled like a bakery. I mean, people would walk in and be like, oh, it smells so good in here. So I was really struggling, trying to figure out what I can do with this. And interestingly enough, my mother-in-law sent me a picture, or sent me an article about somebody else playing around with eating it.
Oh.
So then I started researching that more and found these powders. So it's a red and a white is what I have. You can eat it raw. You can like sprinkle it on things like yogurt, granola. There's a lady in Sedona, it's gluten-free. So there's a lady in Sedona who does just gluten-free cooking for her business because she has physical issues that she can't eat gluten. And she was making amazing desserts with the powders, specifically the red, because the red is a little bit tart. It's after fermentation that we're pressing and taking the skins and the seeds. And so it's a little tart, so matching it with that sweetness and the desserts like chocolate cupcakes. And she would have like a white savory icing and sprinkle the purple powder on top, which looked lovely.
The contrast would be great.
Yeah, so then you can also cook with it. So you can put it in any kind of recipes. I've got a chef in Sedona. We did a couple winemaker dinners for raising money for nonprofits. And he used the red powder in 2 different dishes on 2 different dinners. One he made a salad dressing out of. Everybody's favorite course, bar none. Delicious, and I won't say it's just because of the powder, but it was a part of the recipe.
It has a secret ingredient, has it to it.
We have the other thing that he made was a dessert bread and incorporated that in the bread, which was tasty. Again, everybody's favorite course. And during that dinner, there's a chef right now who's playing around with it with pasta. So I'm really excited to see how that works out. I throw it into smoothies, and I've also been playing with, it's just really simple, but after working in a vineyard and you're just hot and depleted, I've just been taking a little bit of apple juice and throwing in a bunch of powder and throwing in ice and blending it, and it's just like a little slushy, a little smoothie, and it tastes great, and I'm getting all those vitamins and
Right, it's all about regenerating it, and you're regenerating not only the vineyard, your body, but also the community. You guys are really invested in Sedona, and not just Sedona, but also Cornville as a wine region, which is just exploding. There's vineyards up and down the street. It's a really cool wine region. If you haven't come to check it out, you need to. This is where I'm vacationing, is in a vineyard, which is a favorite day, favorite trip. But I love that you're taking what is, people say sustainability, they say upcycling. Do you see yourself as kind of an ambassador of that kind of movement, or have you seen this and got inspired to do something else with it? And it's just, I've never seen it. I've only seen the pumice being used as fertilizer. So when I came to the tasting room and saw your products, I was just like, what is this? What is the story? So I really appreciate you taking the time. But you have the cooking powders, you have the body butter and the chapstick. Do you see it evolving to another next level, or?
That's kind of, I just started this project. It's fairly new. I was invited to do what they call a pioneer pitch in our town. So there's a nonprofit, I believe, in Flagstaff called Moonshot. What they do is they go around to little areas, little towns, and they'll try to take startup businesses and really educate them so their business succeeds. So the Sustainability Alliance in Sedona came to me, heard about the product. They actually came to Page Springs because Page Springs, through my husband, is 100% solar. We've got a wastewater process that we're using and learning about, and then we're going to head into composting. So this falls into alignment with Page Springs Cellars' mission statements and trying to leave no footprint.
So with the chef's dinner, they're using the spices, and with the dry spices, do you pull them from certain vineyards, or is this kind of a collection of white and red grapes throughout the harvest season?
So the powders are not vineyard designated, but the body butter is. So on each label with the body butter, you'll actually see which vineyard it is from. They're all Arizona vineyards that mostly are ours, but some are neighboring vineyards. And it'll tell you the variety of grape too. So this one is the House Mountain Syrah, which she worked on yesterday.
Yeah. Actually, Gayle opened up the doors to Page Springs Cellars to help look for volunteers to do leaf pulling. So I had early morning getting up and going out to the House Mountain Vineyard and actually helping create the best living condition and ripening condition for their Syrah grapes, Clone 525. I'll talk more about that in another video.
The really cool thing about the project, why I invited Danielle out there, was we're doing a whole girls' wine project. So we have a girls' wine label that we're making this year, just starting it. In January, we started doing pruning. So we have specific grapes. One of them is the vineyard that we worked on yesterday, the House Mountain Syrah. The other one is called Dos Padres Malvasia. And we're going to do a co-ferment. We are doing every kind of punctuated, nurturing job in the vineyard. So the group of girls, we've pruned, we've shoot thinned, we've suckered, we've talked and hedged, and we're just going to continue nurturing these. We will harvest with a group of girls. We will bring it into the cellar with a group of girls. Our winemaking team is a group of girls. And then after we bottle it, we're going to do a great release party here at the winery. We are going to have 5 courses with women chefs prepared. Each course will be paired with a wine that was somehow produced or created by a woman. The whole purpose is educating women in the winemaking industry, so anybody who wanted to get involved and was kind of nervous about it, or wanted to get involved and realized, oh, no, I don't want to do this. But the real purpose, besides just helping women get more hands-on experience in the winemaking, is that part of our profits are going to go to a local nonprofit organization called Verde Valley Sanctuary, and they help women who have been abused domestically or on the streets, and human trafficking, all these great things. The money that we're raising is going to a specific project, and it's a housing project that will help women have rooms that are solo rooms rather than big dorms.
Community rooms.
They will also be able to bring animals, which I'm so excited about. And the really exciting thing is that I will be taking the pomace from this girl's wine that we're making and make a butter and powder out of it. So full cycle around.
Full cycle, and taking care of the community that takes care of you and supports you, and that's
So excited.
That is what I love about the wine industry, is that it's not just about having a glass and enjoying it and creating that moment, but it's about what happens after the glass is empty. And what you guys are doing at Page Springs Cellars is just awesome. Thank you so much, Gayle. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you have some massage sessions that you have to get to and some yoga, but I really want to thank you for taking the time. It is 5 to wine time, so please enjoy that glass until I see you next time. Thank you again so much. This was great getting to talk to you today.
I'm so excited and proud of what we're doing, so thank you so much for sharing it. And if anybody has questions, they can always call the winery or email. All of our information is on our website, so super easy.
Thank you so much. Thank you again to Page Springs Cellars giving us an insight on the sustainability movement at the vineyards themselves. My name is Danielle. It's 5 to wine time, so grab yourself a glass. Until next time, cheers.